Five, four, three, two, one. Holy shit, this is the uncanny art of comic book legend Gene Colan, co creator of Blade the Vampire Hunter, and this is the latest Lights Camera Super Action update. Hi, my name is Victor Rosario, Fermate, also known as Big Power. For years, I've been running the Lights Camera Super Action page on Facebook. It's a page devoted to comic book movies. We love comics and we love films. Today is our eighth episode, and everything starts with the movie that wouldn't budge from its July 17th release date, Christopher Nolan's Tenet. It finally moved and it triggered a whole domino effect. One of the movies that were affected was Wonder Woman 1984. Also, believe it or not, Bill and Ted and James Bond have something in common. HBO Max keeps finding new and creative ways to disappoint DC comic movie fans. Production of Spider Man Into the Spider Verse 2 kicked off last week. Miles Morales is on the way up. Nothing can stop him, he's on the way up. DC Comics and Diamond Comics distributors are no longer a thing. Legendary bad writer Denny O'Neill passed away on Thursday. Godspeed, sir. The Five Bloods came out this weekend on Netflix. I saw it. Is it another hit for Spike Lee? Marvel's The Eternals and Game of Thrones have a tighter connection than even I thought. Yesterday, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences announced that it will hand out statues of naked golden men on Sunday, April 25th, 2021, meaning that they pushed the Oscars 2 months. They pushed them back 2 months. All right, let's talk about Marvel's The Eternals and Game of Thrones. Remember Game of Thrones? Well, Richard Madden, who played Robb Stark, will play Icarus, the Eternal. This guy right here. While Kit Harington, who played Jon Snow, will play Dane Whitman. Dane Whitman, who is also this guy right here, the Black Knight. Jon Snow. I've got Jon Snow here. Yeah. I don't know if you can see him right there, next to my shoulder. Okay. So what I didn't know is that Ramin Djawadi, the composer of Game of Thrones, the guy who came up with ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Yeah, that guy. He is composing the film score for Marvel's The Eternals, the movie that is being directed by Chloe Chow. All right. Legendary bad writer Denny O'Neill passed away, as I said, on Thursday. He is the most important bad writer since Batman co creator Bill Finger. O'Neill was born in 1939, the same year that Batman was first published. And he took, that in the 1960s, the Batman was a sensation, TV sensation. But in the 70s, he was no longer selling comic books. So O'Neill had to take that smiling Eat Your Veggies Robin, Cape Crusader from TV, and he had to forget him, discard him. He took him back to his roots. He turned him into the Creature of the Night from 1939, the Dark Knight Detective. He also turned the Joker from that thieving prankster to this guy right here, a homicidal psychopath that we all know and love. He did something similar to Two Face. But let me show you. He took when he did the Joker, when he did that transition with the Joker, he did it in a story called The Joker's Five-Way Revenge, and I think I have it right here. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Uh huh. He's hiding away from me. All right. So, um, also he created Ras Al Ghul and Talia Al Ghul. Ras Al Ghul was played by Liam Neeson in Batman Begins. Okay, I have them right here. The Joker's five-way revenge. This story is also famous for a picture of Batman by Neil Adams. If I was asked, show me a picture that means Batman to you, this is the one I would show. This one and a promotional piece by David Mazzucchelli for Batman Year One. Okay, talking about Batman Year One. Oh, O'Neill also created Arkham Asylum with artist Earp Novick. Talking about um, his work, he was also an editor for the Batman for Marvel Comics and for the Batman books. He edited Frank Miller in Daredevil. O'Neill created also Madame Web in the Spider-Man comic book, and he was the editor of Frank Miller for The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One. So he's one in Batman's world. He's one of the most important figures. He's in my top 10 um, writers of all time. He also Denny O'Neill also worked on with Neil Adams on a groundbreaking Green Lantern Green Arrow team up book. Let me show it to you. He's right here. Okay, this one right here. He took social issues like overpopulation, drug addiction, and misogyny, police brutality, and he sprinkled his superhero stories with social issues, real world issues, and that took us, that gave the DC Comics a lot more depth, DC Comic heroes a lot more depth. All right, so I always, at the end of each show, I always show you something to look for in terms of comic books. So Neil Adams and Denny O'Neill's Green Lantern, Green Arrow, or uh, Neil Adams and Danny O'Neill's Batman. They're collected. I'm sure you can get them on Comixology and Kindle or on physical copies. All right. Production of Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse kicked off last week, but also Sony announced PlayStation 5. It launched, it announced the launch that it will show up. The PlayStation 5 will show up in October or November. I forget, but they announced it with a slew of new games, including a Spider-Man Miles Morales game. So that's pretty high profile. Remember, Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse won the Oscar best animated movie last year. When I say that, believe it or that Bill and Ted and James Bond have something in common, is that they're the only two movies I see in the release schedule that actually stepped up instead of retreating. No Time to Die, James Bond's movie, is moving from November 25th to November 20th, while Bill and Ted Face the Music is coming up a whole week from August 21st to August 14th. The domino effect I was talking about is that No Time to Die will go head to head now with Pixar's Soul. Both will be released on November 20th. Also, The Matrix 4 moved from May 21st, 2021 to April 1st, 2022, while Godzilla vs. Kong moved from November 20th, 2020 to May 21st, 2021. Robert Zemeckis' Witches moved from October 9th of this year to 2021. No specific date was mentioned. Tom and Jerry, it's a hybrid of animation and live action, from December 23rd to March 5th, 2021. The same date as Ghostbusters Afterlife. And Russell Crowe's Unhinged will still be the newest release date. But it did move from July 1st to July 10th. What else is there to talk about? Let me tell you. Oh, The Five Bloods, of course. The Five Bloods. This is my review. The Five Bloods is a story of four Vietnam veterans who returned to that nation to recover the mortal remains of, hold on, the mortal remains of a fallen soldier and a buried case of gold bars. Back then in the 70s, you had to register just like now. You have to register when you hit 18, but your name would enter a lottery to be drafted by the armed forces and fight whatever conflict and war the U.S. was immersed in. 32% back then, 32% of the draftees were black, when only 11% of the population was black back then. They were clearly being used as cannon fodder. There are two main characters that in this movie. Stormy Norman, played by Chadwick Boseman. We see him in the flashbacks because he is the fallen soldier they're looking for. He's like a mythic Captain Black America type. On one hand, he was an efficient killing machine. On the other, he was a spiritual leader. He cherished the messages of pacifist Martin Luther King as well as the more belligerent Malcolm X. He touched the lives of the other four men, especially Paul, played by Delroy Lindo, a man haunted by his past deeds and misdeeds, both during the war and after the war. He will, mark my words, Delroy Lindo will get an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Mark my words, he will. His performance is amazing. The Five Bloods is a story of brotherhood, PTSD, greed, sprinkled with chapters of American history some people don't want you to know about. I'll tell you what, Spike Lee has been a hit and miss filmmaker for me for years. Black Klansman took me by surprise. It was a bases loaded home run, and so is The Five Bloods. Is it as good as Black Klansman? It's almost as good, but I think it's the best movie of 2020. That's not saying much because we haven't had that many movies, but it's a great, great, great movie. All right, I have let me see if I have everything. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Oh yes, two questions. I got two questions. Conan Zamora asks me, Vic, do you like sports? Do you follow soccer? Mm, not really. I see the World Cup like everybody else, but I'm not a huge soccer fan. I do watch UFC. I do watch the NBA. I'm waiting for that season to restart. The NFL, I love NFL football. I watch a little bit of MLB here and there, but that's it. That's pretty much it. I have friends who follow soccer, like follow Argentina's Boca Junior and River Plate, and Spain's Real Madrid, and Barcelona. But I just don't follow it. Crocodile Tears ask, if you had the power to change Mulan's release date, when would you release it? Okay, July July 24th is too soon, and the COVID-19 is not receiving as much as we thought it would. Mulan is a family picture, and it's a Disney picture. That means that families will not risk getting sick, their children sick. So I would push it as far back as Christmas time, December, of course. I mean, Tom and Jerry vacated their December 23rd release date. Was it 23rd? I think it was 23rd. Yes, yes, December 23rd. So that's a great release date. Before I go, let me show you this to you. Again, I love it. Neil Adams cover for Batman 281, I believe it is. So that's it. That's it for this episode. Please spread the word. Share this video. We're trying to build a community here. It's my job to keep you informed. I've been doing it for years in the Lights Camera Super Action page on Facebook. So share this video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more. Stay home, please. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned for the next Lights Camera Super Action update. See you around, fellas.